Most elements of the interface are the same between Mac and Windows. I'll move between the two platforms when necessary to demonstrate some of the differences. This gray rectangle represents the print area of my drawing. Objects inside the gray rectangle will print, objects outside will not. Page size and the visibility of the page boundary are controlled in the Page Setup dialog box. You may see this blue reference grid on your page. The reference grid provides a series of snap points and serves as a visual indicator of scale. To make the grid visible, double-click on the Snap to Grid constraint. In the dialog box, enter the grid size and check Show Grid Lines. Not all users work with the grid constraint active, but it can be a convenient reference as you draw. Rulers surround the edges of the drawing window. Since the layer I'm working on can be set to any scale, these rulers give me a quick reference to what size things are, and also show me where the drawing origin, or 0 point of the X and Y axes are located. Since it is much faster to use the zoom methods and pan tool while working in Vectorworks, the scroll bars are not displayed by default. If you feel more comfortable using them, you can check the scroll bars box on the Display tab of the Vectorworks preferences. The tool palettes are organized into logical groupings: basic tools for 2D drawing and viewing, a palette of tool sets which contains groups of tools for drawing walls, 3D modeling and viewing, and placing dimensions and markers. Constraints, which give me reference points, guidelines, and display the smart cursor cues essential to accurate drawing. And attributes, which are the graphical properties of an object, such as color, line weight, end markers, opacity, and dash style. Dragging a tool palette's edge resizes it horizontally or vertically. By dragging on a toolset name, it becomes a tear-off palette. Any of the toolsets can be dragged off the main palette. The tools can be sorted alphabetically, or the order can be changed by clicking Customize and opening the Workspace editor. Hovering over a tool with the mouse also displays its name, keyboard shortcut, and a brief description of how to use the tool. On Windows, press the Shift key, and on Macintosh, press the Command key to show the added information. Windows users can also click the arrow so it's pointing down to keep this information visible. Click the arrow once again to hide the information. Some tools have additional tools beneath them, indicated by the small arrow in the lower right corner. Simply hold down the left mouse button while clicking the tool and make a different selection. Most tools have multiple modes or ways of using them that are seen here on the toolbar. As you're learning the tools, keep an eye on their modes, since many of the icons describe how the tool behaves. Located at the top of the application window, the View bar gives quick access to most aspects of file organization and viewing. Your View bar could look a bit different, as the choice of items seen here can be customized with its Options menu at the right side. Let's look at the main viewing commands available here. On the left of the View bar are the Previous View and Next View buttons. Previous View lets me move back to any one of the last 10 views I've used while working, and Next View lets me move forward in the list again. Next to these are menus that display the file's classes, layers, saved views, and current scale. We'll discuss these a bit later in this training CD. Fit to Page area sets the zoom ratio to display the entire print area, letting you see your whole printable page at a glance. Fit to Objects works in two different ways. If nothing is selected when the button is clicked, the screen will zoom to display all objects. This is often a good way to find parts of the drawing that have accidentally been placed far off the page. If objects are selected when the button is clicked, the screen will zoom so the selected objects fill the screen. The Zoom In button doubles the magnification when clicked. Press Alt-click on Windows or Option-click on Mac to zoom out by 1/2. If objects are selected, the zoom will center around them. Zoom factor displays the current zoom ratio. Open the menu to select a preset value or type a value in the field. Normal scale, found under the Zoom submenu and View menu, shows my drawing at a zoom ratio of 100%. In Vectorworks, we typically draw at the scale we use to print, as opposed to drawing at 1:1 as in some CAD programs. Therefore, 100% shows me the approximate size objects will display when printed, and is a good way to check that I've drawn the right amount of detail for the scale. When drawing an object, these data fields describe the size and location of what's being drawn. I can type in these fields to enter specific sizes as I go. As with the view bar we just looked at, these data fields have display options controlled from this menu on the right side. The fields can be shown on a fixed data bar, as seen here, on the toolbar, which saves a little bit of screen space, or as a floating data bar, which appears on the screen wherever you're drawing the object. While you can try all of these options and decide which suits you best, for the Vectorworks training CDs, the second option is used. Use floating data bar only when Tab key is pressed. This way, when you're drawing and need to set specific sizes for an object, just press Tab to activate the first field of the floating data bar, and then type in the size you need. In the second section of the menu, there are two options for activating the data bar. The first option is selected so the numeric keypad on the right side of a computer keyboard can be used to enter sizes while using floating datum. For the third section, choose Show Only Primary Fields on Data Bar, and for the fourth, use Large Exit Group button. You'll see more of how this fourth choice is used a bit later on. On the right side, the Object Info palette displays information about any objects currently selected. An object's class, layer, size, and position can all be edited in this palette. Keep this palette open whenever you're working, as the information displayed is essential for drafting. The Resource Browser is used to import and organize drawing items that are used frequently, such as symbols and hatches. All of the palettes can be opened from the list here in the Window menu. A check mark indicates the palette is already open. Right-click on a blank part of the drawing and choose Palettes to display the same menu. On Macintosh, palettes can be minimized either by clicking on this button with the minus sign or by double-clicking on the bar at the top of the palette.